With agricultural lands eroding from human innovation, there's a growing concern around food security. In my opinion, food security is directly related to national security. Sorry about the fingers. And it also exposes the quality of a nation's leadership and the psychology of a nation of people. And with some nation states and its leadership not playing nicely to create division in the human family, I start to think about, likely as you do as well, who to vote for, why, based on what may happen or is happening in the world. Can or will these global changes affect how you eat, what you eat, what foods can be produced or cultivated, how foods can be produced or cultivated, the availability, accessibility, and the costs of food products to feed yourself and your family into the future? What new innovations are to be introduced into the food supply chain? And how does it make systems and lives better? What does the future of a healthy human being look like when health doesn't appear to be a leadership priority in human, environmental, or national security issues, and is possibly not part of the psychology of a nation of people? And the evidence I use to validate this statement is the unsustainable and the rising costs of healthcare dealing with things like diabetes or prediabetes, obesity, cancers, strokes, dementia, ADHD, celiac disease, or a host of other diseases and ailments overwhelming the human immunity as a natural defense mechanism. And these diseases are likely all related to the quality of the ingestion, the feelings about the external environment of what you see, hear, touch, taste, and smell, and also the digestion capacity of your body temple to distribute the nutrients to the 50 to 100 trillion cells that make up you, me, our body, and the ability to think, feel, act, do, and be. Imagine the human potential to be alive for over 200 years of optimized living. Yet most are oblivious to this potential because as products of the environment, healthy being isn't a priority because it seems that there is limited top-level interest in healthier people. Your life, my life, our life is the sum total of the nutrition and the information ingestions that we have, and that's either by exposure or by choice. So, as soil health produces the nutrients for a healthy plant species, our gut bacteria breaks down food ingestion into molecules that get distributed throughout the 100,000 miles of blood vessels to each of these 50 to 100 trillion cells. And this identifies how health is dictated by what we don't see, which is likely more impactful than what we do see. And if someone doesn't see and doesn't know, is the chemistry still happening in the cells of the body? Absolutely. The effects of habitual unhealthy thinking and eating occurs cumulatively over years since we've been young and is negatively influencing natural immunity. The focus on health always seems to be reactive as opposed to proactive. And the irony seems to be how all us humans are over 99% identical, which means health information around food security impacts us all because we all need to ingest certain foods and think in healthy, stress-managed, purposeful ways to produce the needed molecules for the trillions of cells to function free from disease or mutation. And if the chemistry or the lack thereof is making my brothers and sisters sick, and they don't recognize it makes them sick, then doesn't this identify a huge human health crisis? To make this human health crisis even more challenging, how do you help people and solve a problem when the majority are unaware their health and life is being compromised? If the problem isn't acknowledged at a regulatory level, then there's no requirement to offer a solution. Quality of the nation's leadership, psychology of the leadership and the voting public, who and what to vote for. The intent of trying to build and produce a podcast is to evaluate the variables of food security to help identify what we don't know, yet is fundamental to all our health in the human family. And after years of connecting health to cultivation dynamics of the food source, I look to present to grade schools with a passion to teach the kids from an early age to avoid these unhealthy habits. In a program I like to end up calling like From Screen Time to Green Time. The presentments of food security variables will also be offered to the underwriters of industry to explore the risks, the trends, and the opportunities that exist in the future of feeding a growing population. And all this information is being used to complete a food security curriculum devised From the research and the math produced when developing the business plan, the risk assessment, and the feasibility study for one of the largest vertical farming projects in the world. The CE Hort Food Security course is planned to be launched early 2024, with so many valuable insights to be included from the podcast interactions, interviews of subject matter experts, and presenting the most relevant information available to make the educational programming as good as any, and possibly even better, having done the math than many others haven't. I sincerely hope you will subscribe and support this journey to understand the variables of food security, human security, national security, environmental sustainability, and the voter perceptions of what if that may possibly change the way you look at the world around you, and how this information will help you invest into the fundamentals and trends that may be the profitable aspect of human being related to healthy human doing and being. Join the LinkedIn group called DO Podcast, and let's address the human health crisis through food security variables together.